Hello, ladies and gentlemen, I am PANCZASU, the mighty Mig Spire, and now I am officially a member of TGN, also known as the Gaming Nation. So yeah, I'm officially a member of a YouTube network and quite excited because of this, as you may probably imagine. I mean, obviously, why wouldn't I be excited? Anyway, there isn't much I have to do in this particular turn, so I'm just gonna let it pass while I'm explaining the new situation to you, my loyal viewers. So, to you this means no difference whatsoever. Everything with my videos will be just as it was before, so you're not even gonna notice that I'm a part of TGS. For me, however, this might mean that nothing will change, or this might mean that some things will change for the better. So it's just no risk, possible reward situation for me and no situation for you. It just, nothing is going to change for you. So, oh, come on again! Remember the situation our last cast where, you know, Sheridan were just behind this wormhole? I have a feeling they might be behind this wormhole as well. It is going to be very annoying if that is the case, because there will be a pain to deal with. Harmony is getting notorious for being very, very weak in early game. Astonishingly weak. There is lots of people on the forums complaining that they cannot even beat a newbie AI as Harmony. Because Harmony is this kind of faction that is supposed to roll in the late game. But there are also people on the forums who say that, yeah, well, that's nice, but above serious AI you cannot get to late game as Harmony. And I tend to prove those people wrong. Already some people have proven them wrong, and I hope that I'll be able to do the same thing. Right, first of all, I did get my high energy magnetics, very nice. Now I can see antimatter, which I could see before because of my memory and stuff, but now I can see it anyway. And I also have access to high energy magnetics, which are going to increase my fits. I mean my production, not fits, which is very important, as you can imagine. What else? Yes, I know that antimatter has been identified, and I got a bunch of ships. Also, I have a new population point, or whatever I'm supposed to call it, on prototype, which is nice. A very, very difficult system it is going to be, because it is the kind of system that hates Harmony. I mean, literally. Deserts are the worst planets that you can colonize as Harmony, and terrains are the third worst. So, yeah. Still, I did colonize it because, hey, why not? Once I cleanse it, it is going to actually be fairly decent, so I'm just waiting for that to happen. Alright, so now there is a trick that is slowly being developed by us players on the forums to play as the Harmony and actually survive to the late game. It heavily involves using this slider. So what you're supposed to do as the Harmony in order to maximize the chances to actually enter the medium to late game is using the slider over and over and over again, making sure that you maximize its potential to the best. So what you're supposed to do is play in waves, right? So for example, let's say that what I'm going to do now for the next couple of turns is maybe after, you know, colonizing this terrain, I will focus on growing my population so I have more population. So what I'll do then is move the slider like this. Maximize my food production, have ginormous food production on everywhere, and just get as much population growth as I can, literally, and just roll on that. That's I'm done with doing some random stuff. Actually, I'll show you what I'm going to do now, because this will be easier to explain. Now, since I know that I'm going to colonize this terrain, it is going to take for one turn. This will mean that I will not grow any population on this system. Fine. So what I'm going to do is also make sure that I am properly using the other systems to make me some more ships. So for an additional 10, they will make me additional tectonic. And because I'm making those tectonics, they're not going to grow population anyway, because those tectonics block my population growth. Now, since I did that, what I'm going to do is the opposite. And maximize my science gain while minimizing my food production by 100%. Now, this is actually going to make my people starve, but as I can see, they are actually not going to die because of this. Starvation in, actually, are they? Starvation 0 to... Yeah, they are not going to starve. So it's good enough, because I have quite a big food surplus. At least I had it until I started converting my food into science. So, as you can clearly see, this is the kind of thing we're going to roll with. Whenever I want to create a fleet, or maybe colonize some other worlds or something, I'm gonna focus on science to gain a little bit of a science gain and actually be able to catch up to those other emperors that are currently leading the way with the scientific discoveries. But when I'm not doing this, when I'm, for example, creating some other improvements on my systems like interplanetary transport network or anything else really. Also, where's my timer? Where's my timer? There it is. Almost forgot. So when I do that, then I'll just switch the slider and make sure that I'm focusing on food. This supposedly will allow you to actually survive to the medium/late game when Harmony is just going to start to steamroll its opponents with its incredible might and power. Now, the problem is I didn't start playing this video in such a way, in this playthrough. I started playing like a regular newbie, so it might be too late to save me actually. But this is the tactic that supposedly allowed some people to actually roll with Harmony, and I hope that I'll be able to replicate their results. Anyway, let's not wait any further. We want to see a battle. I want to see a battle. There are some pirates. I do have Tectonics 2.0s. They are designed to counter pirates, and I hope that they'll do their job well. I want ships with most HP to tank the damage from the ships with less HP, and I want to go for a guillotine targeting system to make sure that I kill the enemy ships efficiently. Now, what I'm going to start with, I don't remember what the pirates roll with, but I'm also pretty sure that they semi-randomize the cards. Only semi, but what is the safest card to use then? Well, Sabotage is fairly safe, because the only way to counter it right now is by using Barrier, and I cannot remember pirates using a Barrier, because they like focusing on the more offensive traits, like for example Tactics, maybe Sabotage, and occasionally Offense, right? So Sabotage is a very safe card to play. Parry is less so, because pirates do tend to go for Tactics from time to time, so I don't think I'll go for Barrier, even though it would be immensely useful for me. So I'm just gonna go for Mass Shot Circuit, and keep in mind, I do not have access to anything that repairs my ships just yet, so Shot Circuit is one of the better defensive cards I can play right now, just because it lowers the chance of the enemy hitting my ships. Now, you have to keep in mind that in Disharmony, the way that the whole battle system works has been changed drastically. I mean, mostly I'm talking about the defense formulas that determine if your ships got damaged or not, and how much damage has been issued to them. Now there's this thing called... Wow, that's a weird visual glitch that I've seen. Anyway, now there's this thing called hull weakness, and it is difficult to track it in the game, in the source code, but from what I can gather, basically all ships start with 100%, or maybe it's not percent. Anyway, 100 hull weakness, and you can lower or raise your hull weakness via using some modules. And hull weakness is very important when calculating how well your ship is defended against the kind of weapon that the enemy is using. For example, I have some defense modules installed on my ships. I have those shield modules, right? So how do they work? Well, there's a simple calculation there. Basically, the game is using the damage output that the enemy ships have, and then it is looking at my defense modules divided by my defense modules minus my hull weakness. No, the other way around. Whatever. That's more or less the mathematic algorithm for this. So basically, the less hull weakness I have and the more defense I have, the more shots I can actually, you know, absorb and the less damage I'm going to take. Now I know that this is difficult to explain when, you know, talking about it instead of just showing it on a table and showing you the exact numbers, but it suffices to say that basically the combat has changed in quite big ways, as you may expect. Also, well, fortunately I was able to totally obliterate the pirates. I'm not gonna say actually totally obliterate, because the battle was kinda close. And also I don't really know why. During the battle the game sound was sometimes going a little bit more quiet, sometimes it was a little bit louder. I don't get why this is the case. Anyway, what I just realized is that I'm not supposed to actually make those tectonics. I should be doing something else. What, you may ask? Well, first of all, let me check if my cathode design is up to the standard, up to snuff. Yes, I'm pretty sure I only have an engine installed. Let's have a quick look. Yep, only engine and nothing else. That's good. That's very, very good. So what I'm going to do is make as many scouts, aka cutters, as I possibly can, which actually means just one, which is making me a little bit sad, but hey, one it will be, I guess. Can I make one here? No, I cannot. That's unfortunate. So what I'm going to use those cutters for? Very simple. I will send them to Pollux and Volta. and they'll stay there till the end of time. They'll make sure that no pirates can spawn on those systems, and this will limit the possibilities for pirates to actually invade my home system and partially my door to know. It is still going to be exposed from Sing and all those other systems, but I will have my war fleet patrolling those areas soon, and hopefully it will be good enough to actually, you know, withstand the pirate firepower and clear the area from any remaining pirates. No, what I want to do is go to this area, see if the way is clear, make sure that I'm not threatened by any pirates, and then I'll try to expand to Menace, which is still a system I really want to capture. It doesn't have a lot of dust on it, and it does have a lot of both production and science, which is perfect for me. I really want to capture the system ASAP. I know I talked about this many times before, but I'm just making sure that you got that, because it's quite frankly very important. Alright, is production queued up on all my systems here? Yes, it is. But I also need to queue up my science discoveries. So, specialized isotopes are important for me. I want to get some, how is it called? Some invasion mode. Yeah, I have this name right in front of my eyes and I couldn't find a name for invasion. Good job, my brain, and good job, my eyes as well. Anyway, yeah, I need to have some invasion in case I do want to declare war on Hisho. Right now, I'm not ready for this. There are too many pirates everywhere, and I'm pretty sure they now have a bigger fleet than I do. The element of surprise is gone. The good thing is, they are the second weakest faction, just slightly stronger than I am, and I hope that their strength comes from their fids, rather than from their military might. So I might still be able to turn this around and actually kill them off. Wow, I still can. This would be wonderful. I cannot wait for too long, because later on Hisho will become very powerful. Perhaps too powerful for me to deal with. So I do want some invasion power. What else do I want? I do want some more command points, and I do want to have some more powerful kinetics. Now, there is a problem. I would love to get some missiles and some defenses, anti-missile defenses. However, I do not have access to titanium. And now, what has changed in Disharmony, you need titanium to even create anti-missile defenses. And well, guess what? You need them for even higher tier defenses. And how about the highest tier? You also need titanium for that. So if you have no titanium, you not only cannot use missiles, you also cannot defend against them. How about armor modules? Well, fortunately, actually you also need titanium for those. So if you have no titanium, you basically have no defense at all against missiles. Which I like the idea of a weapon being kind of an exclusive weapon and making sure that everybody fights for titanium. But it is a little bit extensive. I mean, there's literally no way for me to counter missiles, especially if the enemy goes for melee type of missiles, which always fire. I cannot stop them from firing. So, what I would like to see is either allowing the players to actually not have to use titanium to make their offensive shaft, which would be reasonable, or allowing the players to make armor modules without the use of titanium. Either of the two would work. Right now, it is impossible to counter missiles without the use of titanium, which is problematic. I mean, as you can see, I have no access to titanium, and I cannot see titanium anywhere in the discovered galaxy. So this could be a problem if somebody attacks me with missiles. Obviously, I will have to employ a glass cannon type of strategy to counter that, but until then, I'm in a little bit of trouble, aren't I? Anyway, what other technology do I want to discover ASAP? Good question. I definitely do not want to do anything with arids or deserts. They are horrible planets. I don't want to even think about colonizing them. So what else is important? Applied Casimir effect, very important, because it will lower my disharmony penalty on my Emperor, and because getting into the personal shielding tech is going to take a long while, I need to make sure that I lower the disharmony penalty as much as possible, as quickly as possible, as simple as that. What do I want afterwards? That's actually a decent question to ask. And I think I will maybe go for extra food production. Reasoning being, with more population, I will actually be able to, you know, mitigate the effects that dust has on me, which is quite horrible. What else could I go for? Hyperium? Well, it is nice, but I'm not currently using it for anything, so I don't really want to necessarily try and waste my science points getting coal mining. So instead, I might consider gaining non-bionic particles to get this extra science, which will be especially useful after I capture Menace, because as you can see, there are Arctics and Tundras in here. Actually, there's only a single Arctic. Wow, I thought this Tundra is an Arctic as well. Still, it's a very nice system, and I'm pretty sure that... where is it? And I'm pretty sure that... Hey, what's up with the font? Oh, never mind. that magnetic field generators also work on... Actually, they only work on ocean, barren, Arctic and human. I didn't know that. Still, it's going to work decently on Menace, and I want to have it regardless because it is always useful, always a nice thing to have. Anyway, you yourself just stay on Phaeton, make sure nobody passes through, and everybody else has its orders. I'm pretty sure there are no more pirates in Pollux, but I'm gonna keep those tectonics here for one additional turn just in case I am wrong. I'll end my turn and do a glorious thing indeed. Do you know what I'm holding in my left hand? That's right. This is my ginseng drink. It's not exactly the one that I have always been drinking, it's a different company, so it might not taste as well as I would hope, but let's try it regardless, so give me a second, I'll take a sip and tell you how it was. It's good! It's really, really good. Another sip, sorry. It is different. It's like a little bit more, how to call it, spicy maybe? I don't know, it's difficult to explain how ginseng drink is different to another ginseng drink, so... Yeah, it's difficult, but it tastes nice, I like it. Wow, I already feel more energetic as well, which is something I always enjoy. Anyway, specialized as it was ours, so now I can actually equip my ships with some invasion modules should I choose to do so. Let us... Oh, there are the pirates. Are they strong enough to actually kill off my military? I don't think they are. They are weakened after all after the last battle. And with a proper battle card, which will be sabotaged yet again, and yet again, and yet again, I should have little problems dispatching this pack of filthy remnants of digested... Why did I went for digested? Whatever, I was trying to offend those guys anyway, so digested is, I guess, a nice way to offend somebody. A rather unusual way, sure, but it's a way to offend somebody nevertheless. Oh, you have digested, yeah, take that. And now I have a smug on my face, because hey, why not? Anyway. Yeah, so we both went for short circuit. That was to be expected, as you have seen in the previous battle, Pirates Lager going for short circuit. They also went for, I believe, adaptive strategy, so I do not dare to risk barrier card, even though it would be very, very helpful indeed. So there was something else related to Disharmony that I wanted to cover, but I forgot what it was. Oh, I remember, the planetary stats. So somebody on the forums actually posted a very, very interesting and cool graph, and barrier? By pirates? What on earth? You're not supposed to go for barrier. I've never seen them go for barrier. Oh well, I guess there's always this first time, isn't it? I was still able to deal a nice enormous amount of damage to those pirates, and they are barely capable of going through my defenses. In fact, I believe they barely managed to do any bad damage at all, which is nice. And I was actually able to hit this guy, which is nice as well. So anyway, new planetary feats values. I have talked a little bit about them, but somebody on the forums made this wonderful, amazing graph, which goes very in-depth in how much production of industry, food, science, or dust is on every planet, with all improvements and the best exploitations you can get. How does it calculate together with the amount of population you can fit on planets, and so on and so forth. So basically, the overall grand scheme of things is that, well, things have changed since the original game, since the vanilla game, which is to be expected. So, do I have any tier 1 planets anywhere? I don't think I do. But they should have one. Yeah, they have Jungle. So Jungle, Ocean and Terran, they have the highest fleets production. But they are the worst planets in terms of specializing in anything. They have the most food, that's true, so they're not really the worst in everything. But in terms of industry, science and dust, they are miles behind stuff like gas giants. In vanilla version, after you got all the upgrades and the best exploitation possible, it was possible to have your jungle being the most efficient industry producing planet, period. As simple as that. Now it's no longer really the case, so... why is it so blinking? That's strange. Some weird graphical glitches in this playthrough, maybe it's something related to, I don't know. So anyway, now that is no longer the case, because no matter what you do, the best planets to gain industry, science or dust are always gas giants. Even when you have a tiny gas giant, it is still going to be very, very powerful, and if I remember correctly, still better than a huge tier 1 planet, which is huge, as you might expect. So that's kind of incredible. And yeah, so the best things, for example, for science are gas heliums, then there are oceans, then, and that's actually going to surprise you, then there are Arctics, and the worst out of the best planets for science are in fact barren systems. So you want to terraform your barrens into Arctics pretty much ASAP, because they'll pretty much always generate more science for you. Partially because of food surplus that you can transform into science and then, into industry and then turn it into science, but still, you know the drill. There are some pretty interesting revelations in this post made by a guy on the forum, which I appreciate a lot. I love it when the community actually dips into the source code and makes all those calculations. It's pretty cool, it's pretty cool. Also, why can you not guard the system? I guess because you don't have any weapons, so just stay here and do nothing. You do scout, go over to Vortown, do the exact same thing, check out if there aren't any pirates even nearby. There are not, so I can safely move those tectonics and make sure that they are guarding the area as well. Alright, now, because my systems have switched into producing planetary improvements that do not stop my population growth, what I'm going to do is a complete 180 and actually focus on food growth. In fact, I'll go as far as I can to make sure that I maximize my food, but without going overboard. Now, something I forgot to check. If I go for even more production than I need to actually grow my population in 110, does it mean that I'll grow additional population after I grow this population more quickly in the next 10? Or does it mean that I'll just waste this extra food abundance? I don't know. I really do not know. Still, I do not want to convert too much of my science. I do want to convert a lot of it, but let's be careful. I'll go for this kind of conversion. Now, I'm still not sure if with this particular tactic of moving a slider back and forth, you're not supposed to actually go literally back and forth and maximize your food at the cost of all science you get. But that would be a little bit too much on the high risk high reward side for me. I'm a little bit more careful guy than that. So I think that going for, converting 40% science into 40% food is what I will roll with. Because no matter what I do, I'm not gonna grow population faster on a prototype. It's just not gonna happen. Alright, what else do I want after I get into planetary transport network? I kinda tempted to go for stealth construction because, at least on Mrs. Fireland, it is my home system, so I need to protect it. Otherwise, I'm at the risk of losing this game and whatnot, so I might as well get it. Also, because it doesn't cost any, dust to maintain, because I'm playing as Harmony, it is going to be even more awesome to have it. However, on other systems, even though I do care about them a lot, and actually I just colonized this terrain, so I do want to have more food, thank you very much. So even though I do care about those systems a lot, I would rather go for extra food to make sure that I gain more population even quicker than before. Now then, I believe that this is it all. Let's have a quick look at Fate, and that's actually this system to colonize. I'll try to get lava colonization ASAP. What about you? Ooh, wow! I'm so unlucky in this playthrough. So those are 4 deserts. I'm not gonna colonize this anytime soon, even though I would like to, because, antimatter and whatnot, but there's also dust. Well, I know I laughed about this in the past, but I can continuously laugh about it. Huge desert, again, that's very nice of you, game. I like it when you troll me. How about this? Even more deserts? Yeah, deserts everywhere. How about you? Only a single desert, and a lot of barrens, which is barren than before. How about Galto? Please tell me there are no deserts. Well, there are arids, which are almost as bad. Yeah, I ain't gonna have a ton of problems. My one hope is that this star is actually uncolonized and that this Sheridan ship with just, seen passing through this wormhole was just a regular scout and Sheridan are still far away from us. If that's the case, then maybe I could colonize on this system, which hopefully doesn't have any dust producing systems and instead has something like, I don't know, oceans or tundras or arctics or lavas. That's everything what I could do with. Make do with, and if it has anything else, then not really, no. Anyway, you just say you're gonna stay here as well. Now, I could make even more scouts and send them in this general direction, but no, I'm pretty sure they would be picked off by pirates, so it's not really worth the risk. Also, there are more Husha here, but that's just a very strong scout. I don't think he will be of any troubles to us. Especially since he would probably have to encounter our food to go anywhere. And as for you, yeah, we're just gonna kill him because hey, why not? Anything I need to do this turn? Not really, although if I'm lower this bar, can I? Yes, I indeed can gain extra population in just a single turn. on there to know, which is exactly what I want to do. I want to minimize the time it takes for me to grow population as much as possible at all times, even at the cost of staying behind in terms of science. I can do with that. I can, because as I said, Harmony is the most powerful in the late game. So even though I'll be severely handicapped because of the lack of science, I'll be able to make up for it relatively quickly, which is going to be difficult, but maybe possible. Keep in mind, this is a tactic that people suggested that I would do. This is not the tactic that I did myself. I did play offline a lot. I have won this Harmony on Endless twice already, and in fact I could win it as many times as I want if I load the save file. And in fact that's exactly what I'm going to do, because I made a save file when I'm in such a good position that I can win in literally every way I want to. Be that diplomatic victory, science victory, dust victory, supremacy victory, anything else. And I want to have all those achievements from those victories, so I'm most likely going to do that. But that's really off topic. Anyway, Hisho made its way. I'm probably going to kill this guy. I don't want to let him through and scout out my systems. Also, I know that this might hurt my relationships with the Hisho. Let's have a quick look at how much do they like me, or maybe dislike me. They like me because of long-term peaceful status. Well, I'm sorry, I'm about to destroy your scout, because I don't like the look of him. The good thing is, Hisho are space cadets, so it is possible that they are, even though they will be, you know, better science-wise than I am, they will not be much better than I am, just slightly, so that's something. As for Sheldon, do they like me? They probably don't have, anything that made them like me or dislike me, which is actually good, because this might mean that they do not have a system here. Otherwise, they would probably have conflicted borders or something like that, that they would dislike about me. Alright, it is a scout. Wow, that's a very powerful scout they have. But it's a scout nevertheless, so that he will run away. I'm just gonna go for nose breaker just because hey, why not, and maximize my damage. Now, if he will run away, then he will counter tactics. So instead, I'll just go for. And there isn't really anything that will maximize my damage other than another strategy at this point in time. So I'll just go for extra accuracy. No, nothing I do is going to help me at all. So I'll just go for barrier to make sure that the enemy actually doesn't do any damage to me. Do I have any deflectors? I do have some, and the enemy has only kinetics. So instead, I might as well go for... No, this would lower my bleed damage. Alright, barrier it is. And auto this thing. I'm pretty sure that Hisho are just going to escape. I don't want to let them start winning, because then they will start amassing the Bushido bonus, and this bonus is quite frankly BS because it's just so powerful. I hate it. I mean, I love it when I'm playing as Hisho, don't get me wrong, but I hate it when I'm fighting against Hisho, which is quite a reasonable thing to say, I imagine. Anyway, looks like the pathway to Menace is almost wide open, so in the next 10, I believe. Actually, I could start making my expansion ship right now, but first of all, I want to get additional population point on Door to Know and Prototype, and then I'll stop with the food production and then again focus on science while getting more military ships and an expansion ship to Menace. Maybe I'll get another one just so I'm ready to settle on Phaeton, or maybe Pollux. Think about Pollux though. It is a huge tundra, so it's good because it doesn't produce a lot of dust, but it still counts as a dust-infected system, and every system that has dust that I control will lower my overall fizz on all of my systems. So I don't want to go too crazy expanding to newer systems, so just because of that, I don't think I'll expand to Polos just yet. As much as I would like to, I just cannot afford it. Anyway, I'm going to end the 10, drink some more ginseng because my throat hurts a little bit. Oh wow. That's what, I don't know, that's what a demon drinks before he's about to, I don't know, rip somebody's innards out or do some other girl stuff like this. That's what they drink, I'm pretty sure. Let me drink some more of this stuff then. Oh wow. Alright, so the other ginseng drink is ultra sweet, and it focuses on giving you raw energy, I would say. You just go hyperactive when you drink this stuff, right? This one, however, is not as sweet, which I actually like, I really do. But it's also very spicy in its nature, so it's like, I feel like I could, I don't know, maybe, it's difficult to explain this. I feel like I'm on drugs. I really do. But that's how you always feel when you drink ginseng. That's pretty much a natural response. It's not drugs, don't worry. And don't do drugs to kids, by the way. Drugs are evil and bad. But it does kind of feel like it. It really does. Anyway, Menace is actually clear of... What happened to my voice? What happened to my voice? Hey, ginseng, what did you do to my voice? Alright, I think it changed back to its normal state. That's very strange. Ginseng drinks tend to do that from time to time, but I still don't get it why or how they do it. I don't care though, because sometimes they make my voice awesome, and it's very difficult with my voice, which I still don't like. I mean, I can partially say that it's okay, but it's horrible for singing, and I would like to sing, as simple as that. Anyway, what I'm going to do now is prepare my colonization ship. Is there any other system that I would like to colonize sooner rather than later? Well, how long till I get access to lavas? Probably a fairly long time. Well, 999 tens, that doesn't help me a lot, but the technology costs 340 science, which I still don't know how much this is. So when I turn all food into actually science, then, well, I still get population growth on door to know, that's pretty awesome. But anyway, then I gain 89 science per 10, so this means that I'll get barring shielding in 4 turns. That's actually quite a long time, and I'm not too comfortable with this. But at the same time, I need to start expanding sooner rather than later. I really do. So I think that what I'm going to do, first of all, I do need this expansion ship, thank you very much. Is it the one with X engines or the one with extra population? I think that's the one with extra population. I'm just gonna double check to make sure that that's the correct ship. Double civilian module, yes, that's what I wanted it to have. Though to know it's going to suffer a population penalty, but actually, maybe I should make one on Mrs. Fartlet instead, because it is maxed out on population anyway, and it will be maxed out for a pretty long time, and there is nothing I can do about this. So I could make a ship over there and transfer it to prototype, but I'm growing population fast on prototype anyway, and soon I will have to start colonizing deserts, which will be bad. You know what, I might as well make a backup volcanic, right? I know I'm not going to use it just yet. However, first of all, I don't really need this iron graphing. I will in a second though, so let's leave it in for a moment. But this backup volcanic I will be able to use whenever I need it to, without the need to stop, you know, science production on all of my systems. I mean, food production on all of my systems. So I think it's a decent idea. Alright, since I'm already focusing on other stuff, let's make some extra warships, like this guy. Too late. It's going to take a little bit too long, so yeah, let's go for something like this. 3 turns is actually quite a long time, and soon I will need to actually... Oh wow, now I'm in fact... Oh, that's right, I was converting industry to dust. That was why I was still getting industry, I mean food gain. Industry to food, not industry to dust. Alright, so what I need to do is... Now I'll go for this, and then when I'm dangerously close to losing a population point, then I'll lower the conversion just a tiny little bit more. Alright, I guess it's reasonable. Now it's going to take me even longer to acquire the technologies I wanted, but I guess that's what we'll have to do. Alrighty then, I also cannot stall for too long with constructing those volcanics because I do need them a lot. Anyway, let's end this particular turn, because okay, why not? Also, what I just realized I should probably do is split some of my forces so that I have, you know, like for let's say 1 destroyer on every of those neutral systems. They are not as efficient as, for example, scout ships, but they will do their job well, I imagine. So, prototype is not producing me more industry, which is nice. So now I can actually get some more tectonics. Maybe even more tectonics. Well, I probably will have to wait for additional 2 turns anyway, so I might as well do that. I will lose population in 1 turn, so let's prevent this from happening by converting slightly less food into science. You just are just hovering around, you're not a threat to me, fortunately. Let's finish the move of all my ships. Actually, I could move this guy to Oceans, however, if there are pirates over here, there's a high chance they'll attack Hisher instead of me, because they're closer. So I don't really want to prevent pirates from spawning there. It sounds like a bad idea. Instead, what I'm going to do is make sure that one of you guys, maybe you, are going to go to Menace, make sure that it's not being kindly captured. You also split, so you just say go to Sing. And you just say, I mean, which one is orbiting the system? I believe this one. You go to Queries. And this should be good, because then I'll cover all those 4 systems at once, make sure that no pirates come in. The only way for them to attack my colonization ship will be through Stardust, but I'll have a fleet guarding Zeteria, so it should be relatively okay. Also, I'm about to get my applied Casimir effect, so what I might want to do is get my cutter right here and ready. This is a problem though, because it will make me that I'll have to wait longer for my volcanic, but I do need another scout, I believe. I could risk moving this one though. But no, I need another scout. I'm sorry, I really do. And also this will allow my size to go a little bit further, and while I'm not gaining any population right now, yeah, I think it's, as I said, Harmony is very high risk, high reward faction, especially in early game. And those are the risks right now I am capable of taking, I'm willing to take them. And I hope this will not come back and bite me later in the you-know-what. Anyway, applied Casimir effect is here. This Harmony penalty is significantly lowered, which is very nice. I can now travel to different constellations, which is also very nice. I finished the production of a bunch of ships on different systems. Dear Cutter, you can now officially move over here. See what is there. Please don't let it be Sheridan. No, they're not Sheridan. Those are pirates though, so those make my ship run away from there. So there's Adamantium over here, and there's Hyperium. Nice, those are both useful resources, but I'm still hoping for Titanium. Huge ocean, this is good, this is very good. There's desert and arid over here, but there's also arid, lava and methane. That's a good system to colonize. I need to send a fleet to get there as soon as possible. That said, my fleet is currently busy guarding all of the other expansion efforts. Oh boy, what do I do now? Well, in a 10 I will have volcanic. And right now those pirates, I believe they're preventing the enemy empires from capturing Janos for themselves. So, by the way, if you added Z to this will say Janos, which is a Polish name, just putting it out there. So I guess I will use those tectonics soon to move them to Mrs. Fadlad. This tectonic can go there already because I need an ASAP. Also, I do have an extra tectonic here. It is an old tectonic though, so it is going to do poorly against pirates, but at least it will do somewhat decently-ish. You just got the system, and the others got this system, thank you very much. So now I'll be able to call this guy back as well. You just run the F away, because I cannot afford to lose you, but I guess I will lose this guy anyway. Will I? Yes, I did lose him. I died quite horribly, in fact, but that's still understandable and acceptable. Which is quite a horrible thing to say, but hey, whatever. It's not I who died on this ship, if you know what I mean. Which is yet again a horrible thing to say, and I guess this means that I need extra tectonics, so I'll go for one more over here. I cannot go for one more over here because this will take too long, so maybe one more over here-ish. Can I upgrade those tectonics? No, I didn't get any extra technologies. I could install them with some invasion modules though. How much space do I have on them? No, not volcanics, tectonics. Modify, and 6 beams, 5 shields. Siege costs 25 tonnage though, which is a lot. I don't think it is worth it to go for it just yet. I will once I get, fighters and bombers that will allow me to replace beams with, and when I get a little bit more tonnage, which I could, use on those ships. For now, however, I don't think it is a good idea to go for extra invasion ships, and this will postpone my invasion of his ship for even longer. Of course, I could design an entirely separate ship, designed only for invasion to capture Tekko after it is cleared of the enemy ships. But I'll deal with that in my next video, because this one is relatively long already. In fact, it's a little bit longer than I would like it to, because this means that it will be a pain for me to encode it and upload to YouTube. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching my video. If you somehow did, then please like it, maybe subscribe to my channel if you wish to see more. Also, please leave a comment, they help me out immensely. I do love reading them as well. And all in all, I'll just fall in love with you if you do as I ask you to. It was PANCZASU, the mighty mix spammer, now a member of TGN, a proud member I might add. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you online.